Hi, I'm Dr. Sian Cole, health psychologist, and today's video is talking about setting goals. So, there's plenty of research out there to say that successful people set goals. So, I think it's a very important part of everybody's life, particularly if you're dealing with any kind of illness, injury, or disability. So, I have two criteria in regards to setting goals. So the first one is SMART goals. A lot of people have heard about it, and here is what we talk about in acceptance and commitment therapy. So for the S, we want our goals to be specific. So this is opposite to having a vague goal, because if our goal is too vague and fluffy, then we don't know if we've achieved it. If we have a goal to get healthier, that sounds like a lovely goal, but how do you know if you've achieved it? So if you can set a specific goal, such as that I'm going to eat 3 servings of vegetables a day, I'm going to do 3 lots of cardio activity and 2 lots of weight resistance a week, then you know if you've actually done those or not. So we want our goals to be specific. M is for meaningful. So we will do something, we're more likely to do something if it matters to us, as opposed to somebody just tells us to do something, but if we don't think it's important, we're not going to do it. So have a look at your values, because our values is what gives us meaning in life, it gives us our direction. So setting goals from our values automatically makes them meaningful. The next area is adaptive. We want our goals to help us move in the direction that we want to go. R is for realistic. Again, if things are too big or out of our control, well, then we're not going to be able to achieve them. So we want to think about if the goal's too big, to break it down into smaller steps. If the goal's out of our control, like winning the lotto, then that's just not a smart goal. And I guess we also have to consider our resources as well when we're setting our goals and making sure that they are realistic. And then the T is for time bound. So we want to set a specific date and time, because again, if you're going to schedule it in, you're more likely to do it. If you put it off to some vague date or say, I'll start tomorrow, tomorrow never comes. So set it down in a time, in a schedule, making it a SMART goal, then that's going to be a move in the right direction. Now, my second criteria is that the goal needs to be an action goal and not an inaction goal. We don't think it's actually helpful to try and stop doing things or to stop feeling a certain way. We know that action is really good for your physical and mental health, and it's much easier to do something than not do it. Sometimes colloquially, this is referred to as dead person goals. So anything a dead person can do better than you, then it is an inaction goal. So for example, if you want to not eat chocolate, that is an inaction goal, something that a dead person can do better. They can definitely not eat chocolate better than I can. So the idea is to then ask yourself, well, if I wasn't eating chocolate, what would I be doing instead? So I actually had a client who came up with this goal. She wanted to not eat chocolate at night time. That was the time that she tended to eat it. So when we explored, what some of the besides chocolate tasting good, what some of the other things around that was meaningful for her. And it was about, kind of relaxing at the end of the day and having a bit of a treat. And she was able to come up with her own idea in regards to what something that she could do instead. And that was to have a cup of tea. So she changed that. So that's a SMART action goal. Have a cup of tea at the end of the day to relax and unwind. And look, if she has chocolate sometimes, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Setting goals is not about being perfect. It's about giving it a go, working towards it. And if you fall off, you try again the next day. Also, I definitely had, people talk to me about how they want to not be depressed. So I'm going to ask, well, what are you going to do instead? What would you be doing instead if you weren't depressed? And that can give me some ideas about what we can do instead. And lastly, obviously a good goal to not do is to stop smoking. But as I was saying before, it's still hard to stop doing something. So when I'm talking to clients about that, we're going to probably put in a few different ideas of what to do instead. So it might be to do some urge surfing for some of those cravings. Other times it might be to go and sing at the top of your lungs, or go and do a breathing exercise, or change up routine to help manage those habits. So there are a lot of things that you can do in regards to setting your goals, but we definitely know that if you do smart action goals, you're going to be more successful and have a clearer picture in what you're wanting to be doing. So good luck with your goal setting.